When Tinubu was campaigning, people were saying, but you are too old. He said he's a young person. That's another crisis. In the Sahel, there is the strong extraordinary hands of France. So they are passing through a second decolonization because they obtained their independence, but France did not let go. So they need to complete that process of decolonization, which we are witnessing in Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger. Lack of good governance.
Yeah.
So if democracy does not lead to development, there will be crisis because your citizens will not care about that democracy. So, second, there are many cases in which the presidents don't want to go. Cameroon, one family was ruling Gabon for 53 years. Sisi just won another election in Egypt. Anybody who is in his 40s in Cameroon, the only president is seen is Biya.
Yeah.
So that is a major crisis. Third, your population is basically youthful. And you are asking elderly people to be managing them. That's a very big disconnect in which they're having divergent conversations, different ideas of development. When Tinubu was campaigning, people were saying, but you are too old. He said he's a young person. So that's another crisis. We're not promoting the association of our people. We're promoting the associations of politicians. Take ECOWAS for people. It's not a parliament of people. It is presidents who send their friends to represent their countries. So, and if your friends represent your countries in ECOWAS and African Union, they are not going to make major changes that will be of significant effect. Then in all of them, there's a rise in poverty.
Yeah.
And in the Sahel, there is the strong extraordinary hands of France. So they are passing through a second decolonization because they obtained their independence, but France did not let go. So they need to complete that process of decolonization, which we are witnessing in Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger. So on one hand, it's surprising that a country like Nigeria will not read all these things clearly. And as some of us told the Tinubu government, Niger is more important to Nigeria than ECOWAS. They share borders with almost 6 states. They are basically young people. 70% of Niger is Hausa people. They allow you to, the River Niger passes through them. And you want to sell gas to Europe. If you want to sell gas to Europe, where is your pipeline going to pass? You have to go through Niger. You can't on the one hand be saying you're signing contract with Germany for gas. I'll be fighting Niger where the gas line or pipeline will pass through. So all these contradictions are there. But the political spaces have been radicalized thanks to social media. The information age is spreading rapidly all these transgressions that politicians are doing. They have no place to hide. And there's a limit to which they can keep using violence and force. The use of that violence and force will begin to create problems for themselves, because the more of those strategies they use, the more they are also inviting the military to take over power.
Are there specific examples from other regions or countries that you believe countries in Africa can draw inspiration from in terms of political reforms?
Well, some people will argue that some small countries are doing better. They point to Rwanda. Sometimes they point to Botswana. I was there last August. I was in Gaborone. Sometimes, until the financial crisis in Ghana, everybody was using Ghana as a good example. South Africa is in a mess because of xenophobia, the decaying infrastructure, the black on black violence, they're still there. Hopefully, if countries like Algeria, like Kenya, like Nigeria do better, they would provide the opportunities for many other countries in different regions to also transform themselves.
Let me also get your perspective on this. In one of your recent pieces, which you wrote, you talked about the fallouts of government's failure to tackle corruption becoming uncontrollable. And part of what you prefer solutions to the problem of malfeasance is to reduce the monetary attraction of public office holders. How do you mean by that?
Well, I've also argued that corruption can be privatized, in which the current democratization of poverty, whereby everyone has an access to corruption, is not working. That why don't you develop a corporate elite? If you get a contract, they will do it very well, make their own profit, which they're entitled to as entrepreneurs. And maybe if the number can be reduced, because as the stage in which we are, we cannot be talking about the elimination of corruption. Because the people who are in power, that is part of the process, is the recycling of state money. They steal from the state to run for elections. So those are not going to be party to this conversation.
Have it, guys. Our African leaders are really trying their best to manage Africa's challenges as much as they are. And when we show these speeches here on this channel, we actually encourage to share our thoughts in the comments. And so whatever it is you guys think about these speeches, please do share your thoughts in the comments.
Thank you for watching, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please share and like and subscribe, because that's the way you support Kwazemi as a channel, an Afrocentric channel, where we try to understand deeper issues in African history and hopefully develop a collective intelligence on how we wish to build the Africa we want to see as people of Africa. See you in the next one.